we're on to E2. How many speakers do we have?
We have 14 speakers.
Okay, 2 minutes each.
Okay, I am going to call the first 5 speakers, and if you folks will please come up to the front chairs so we know you're here, and then we'll make sure that everybody has a chance to speak. So the first is Debbie Weirich, Diane Manfredi, Debbie Antonio, Christian Anderson, and Kathryn Bressem. I'll say those names one more time. Debbie Weirich, Diane Manfredi, Debbie Antonio, Christian Anderson, and Kathryn Bressem. First speaker will come on up.
Good evening to the board. My name is Debbie Weirich, and I'm with Venetia Cabinetry. I came in January and talked to you about getting help to get payment from West Bay Builders for the subcontractors on MLK Elementary School, and I came here tonight to give you an update. Since then, we have met with Bill Fay and Kate Boskop and their team, and they sat with the subcontractors and listened to our complaints and worked out a agreement with West Bay Builders. And since then, I'm happy to report that we have gotten 66% of the money that is owed to us. And to put that in school terms, though, the 66% is a C minus, but they are working very hard on the other 34%, and I'm very, very confident in the way that they have approached this and how hard they're working on it, that they are going to be successful, and that I will come back and report when we get the other 34% and be able to give them an A for excellence. So thank you so much, and they've been really good to work with on this, and thank you for the board for assigning them to help us. Thank you.
Diane Manfredi.
Good evening, Dr. Harder, Mr. Green, board members, and some district personnel office, some persons from the district office. I am one of the union representatives for Lupine Hill School, and I'm here to address the climate of our school and concerns of the teachers. Although it has only been 6 months, Mrs. Taylor has changed a warm, welcoming, friendly school into an impersonal, prison-like environment, such as the gates to our school are locked, and there's only one way in and one way out. She says she is always available, but she has put cardboard up on her office windows so no one can see if she's there. She is most often on the phone and seldom available, and several parents have told teachers that she does not even answer their emails. At the beginning of this school year, she handed each teacher a list of 24 reasons why a child is not to be referred to go to her office for inappropriate behavior. We feel she is not supportive to teachers when it comes to the disciplining of students. Conversations with Mrs. Taylor are often misconstrued when they are repeated to someone else. Consequently, no one knows the real truth. Teachers are often made to feel at fault because her responses are shifted and the focus is not clear. For this reason, teachers are confused about the direction they should take. However, she makes it very clear when she states that, quote, I am here to stay. Recently, she took a copy of the equity walkthrough to an ILT meeting, saying that she had used strains from that to make up her own version of an observation list. Then, on 2 weekly handouts to the teachers, she wrote that she would use this observation list that the IL team had developed for her to use when she and her coach from Berkeley...
Your time is up. Thank you.
Okay.
Debbie Antonio.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Antonio, and I want to thank all the teachers and parents that came from Lupine Hills tonight. Good evening, school board members and Dr. Harder. I am the other union representative for Lupine Hills, and although the majority of our teachers are hesitant to come down here tonight to address you on record, I am here to do so. We wanted to share our concerns with you, the school board, and be certain that you are aware of the working conditions at our school. The climate of our school has changed drastically in 1 year, actually 6 months. It has turned from a positive place to a toxic place. We are deeply saddened by this. Initially, we felt that it was an adjustment period and learning time for our new principal, so we suffered in silence for months. The teachers have since filed grievances and parents have complained downtown. Neither of these remedies has proven effective. The local, national, and international news that has run about our school and our principal has impacted our image in a very negative way. Parents are very upset. The teachers and parents have lost confidence in our principal, Cynthia Taylor. At this point, we feel the relationship is beyond the point of repair. Teachers and parents will not approach Mrs. Taylor with any concerns on problems because the situation will be made more complex, and Mrs. Taylor will look for someone to blame and reprimand. Our school is on lockdown every day. There's only one way in, one way out. Parents do not feel welcome on campus, and Mrs. Taylor does not take safety concerns into mind. We have students leaving the school because of her new practices. Staff members have also left because of these practices. Thank you.
Kristen Anderson.
Hi, my name is Kristen Anderson. I am a parent of 3 children that go to Lupine School in Hercules. I'm also the chairperson of the School Site Council of the school. I've been on the School Site Council for 3 years, and I'm here today because I'm not happy with the direction the school seems to be going. I know I have more written here than I'll be able to say, so I'm going to email. If I can somehow get all your emails, I will email the rest of it to you, because I want you to know what I have to say. I'm not used to this. Sorry, this is hard. I'm not happy with the direction of school that seems to be going. I would like to talk in an open public forum about some of the things that disturb me. When this year started, we received a new principal, which was a bit of a shock, and that was not something we were aware of. But that happens apparently. I met the new principal while I was dropping the kids off, and I introduced myself. I'm going to read this as fast as I possibly can. Over the next couple of months, I noticed that we did not see much of our principal. I know her job is busy and she's new. During this time, I noticed in the office that someone covered the windows in the principal's office so you could not see if she was there, and her door was always closed. I was voted in the school site council. I wasn't aware, but I missed the 2 first meetings. I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to go to the next page. You know what? When I made the first meeting, when introductions were made, the meeting was good. Then during our 4th meeting, towards the end, me and one other member were going over some information about donations for computers and free equipment. The principal got up and God.
Yeah, thank you. Your time's up.
Kathryn Bressem is the next speaker, and then I'm going to also call the other ones so folks can come up to the seats. Miya Woodhouse, Kristen Pursley, Kim Huhta, and Kris.
Good evening. My name is Kathryn Bressem, and I am a parent at Lupine Hills. And I am here to stand instead with the teachers who are very unhappy with the way the school is being run. Ms. Taylor has been unapproachable. I have had 4 meetings canceled on me. for something as simple as getting a paper signed to get my tag so that I can volunteer in the classroom. And I don't really have a lot to say, except that I think it's really unfair to the teachers that they have to deal with somebody who is not supporting them in the best capacity possible. And when our teachers are unhappy, our children don't get the best that they can get. Gates are locked, and you'll hear all the complaints. And I don't know what a solution is. I don't have any suggestions, but I think that you should know that it's a matter that needs some attention. Thank you for your time.
Miya Woodhouse.
To the members of the board, I stand here before you, voice shaking and knees wobbly, to implore you to exercise the power you and you alone have to change the downhill path at Lupine Hills. Lupine Hills is one of the great schools that serves the community of Hercules and is on a downward spiral that we are fighting to rectify. I stand beside the teachers, fellow parents, and children that are in urgent need of your action, an action that will ensure positive change in a school that has become rife with fear, mistrust, and anger. I stand here today because I am a mother of 3 children that have attended this school we have all come to love, a school we can count on to prepare not only our children for the many challenges before them, but also a school that serves an entire community of voices and needs that have gone unheard and unaddressed. I stand here before you asking you to replace the current principal with one that is experienced, one that is already equipped with some of the qualities that we are justified in demanding. Qualities that will help us to turn the current environment of discord around at Lupine. Qualities that will stand fast beside us in this time of economic uncertainty, foreign and domestic warfare, and community fragmentation. I am before you to ask you to empower us, give us the tools we need to help us develop the school and community that works together. Please, please give us a new principal. Thank you.
Kristen Pursley.
Hi, my name is Kristen Pursley. I'm with West Contra Costa Adult Education and also with Communities Organized to Support Adult School, or COSAS. And I'm here tonight really just to thank you for continuing to support adult education, for making us a priority, as was mentioned at the community budget meetings a few weeks ago. Please keep doing this, because adult education, I know it's not always easy to support things that really are for a vulnerable population, but we do support people who really need our services, and we thank you for recognizing that. Thank you.
Huhta.
Good evening. My name is Kim Huhta, and I'm an adult ed teacher for West Contra Costa. I've been teaching adults for almost 15 years. I teach independent life skills at NIAD, a studio art day program for adults with disabilities here in Richmond. NIAD serves about 65 disabled adults from the local community, 40 clients a day, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. NIAD provides a safe, creative environment for its students and is depended on and trusted by families and by the community. West Contra Costa Adult Ed sends 2 teachers to NIAD and provides 160 student hours of instruction every week. My classes at NIAD allow differently abled adult students to learn and practice the skills necessary to function as independently as possible. These skills include basic literacy and numeracy, communication skills, self-care, money management, cooking, and creative self-expression. We do gardening, and we take field trips out into the community. Along the way, students practice the stated adult ed objectives of goal setting, safe and healthy decision-making, and lifelong learning. They gain increased self-determination and quality of life. They experience connections to the world around them, a world to which they may otherwise have significant limited access. Every teaching hour, I see in my students the innate drive to learn, prosper, and connect. I see the drive for independence and self-determination. I'm here tonight because I believe in adult education and the Adults with Disabilities program. I believe that adult ed is worth the board's continued support and funding. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to call the next speakers. Kris Huhta, Diane Brown, Michael Parker, Linda Ruiz-Lozito, Sarah Butler, and Wanda Lee Stevens. I'll call those names one more time. Kris Huhta, Diane Brown, Michael Parker, Linda Ruiz-Lozito, Sarah Butler, and Wanda Lee Stevens. If everybody would please come to the front chairs so we know that you're here, and we'll start with the first speaker.
Your name's been called. Please come to the podium, whoever the first speaker was, because we're going to pass you up. I don't know if you said
okay.
Kris Hunt.
Kris Hunt.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
no, sorry about that.
Not a
I
problem.
didn't hear that name either.
It's okay. Hi, I'm Kris Hunt, the Executive Director of the Contra Costa Taxpayers Association, and I'm here to make some comments on the board actions at the February 1st meeting and the replacement of Linda Ruiz-Lozito on the Bond Oversight Committee. I'd like to make 4 points. First, while the actions of the board in reconsidering the nomination of Anton Junger after we had left the meeting and Charles Ramsey suddenly showed up may be illegal, they certainly violate the spirit of the Brown Act. Second, that somehow we engineered the resignation of Linda Ruiz-Lozito in an effort to appoint Anton to the CBOC is untrue and should never have really been brought up. But however, Cocoa Tax does have the right to substitute people should we so choose. Unfortunately, Linda felt compelled to resign because of the ongoing issues of failure to properly record critical issues in the minutes and the hostile environment she experienced at CBOC meetings. Third, I was unpleasantly surprised by the actions of the speakers and some of the board members at the meeting. To have a private citizen spoken of in such disparaging and hostile manner certainly sends the wrong message to parents and students who might be considering serving on a board. Fourth, the district is currently in violation of Prop 39 requirements. You have a member of a taxpayer group on the CBOC. This position has been vacant since November of last year, and the role of the taxpayer representative is crucial. They have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers who voted for those bonds because they relied on the existence of a bond oversight committee. In order to bring the district into legal compliance and to assure everyone, including myself, that the Bond Oversight Committee is on the right track, I'm submitting my name as a replacement for Linda Lozito on the CBOC. I trust my name will be placed in nomination at the next board meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Here is both my written comments and my application for the nomination for the board. To whom do I give this?
Diane Brown.
Good evening, Diane Brown, President of United Teachers of Richmond, and I'm here in support of the Lupine teachers, parents, and students. And I want to tell you that the Lupine teachers have been working under a tremendous amount of pressure. They arrived at the union office the first day of the 2011 school year to share their frustration and anger. They continue to experience regular disruptions to their teaching and instruction. They have not been supported in trying to discipline their students. There's a lack of leadership and no relationship building. Our students need to thrive. And without support from principals, or if they're in fear of if teachers are in fear of being disciplined, there is no learning taking place. It is impossible to educate our students. We need to really take a look at what do we mean by highly qualified principals. Thank you.
Michael Parker.
Good evening. Excuse me. Good evening. My name is Michael Parker. I'm a member of the Richmond Progressive Alliance. I'd like to first speak about budget cuts. The problem with budget cuts is that it pits one program against another. So we had a great presentation tonight, and I fear that one of the things that may be on the chopping block will be dancing and music programs. Or will it be adult education? Or will it be sports? Or will it simply be that we'll increase class size? Speaking as a community college instructor teaching primarily adults over 30 years old, I wish to tell you that adult education in particular is absolutely critical to families trying to survive in this economy. That we're talking about immigrants, we're talking about former convicts trying to re-enter, we're talking about workers trying to retrain for jobs. You have to maintain adult education as critical to the families of a large portion of the population of Richmond and the West County. Now, there is a way out. The way out, I think, is to get more funding for education. We are attempting to get the millionaire's tax on the ballot in the fall. The millionaire's tax would tax only millionaires, people who make more than $1 million, and would provide funds for education. I'm asking the board to consider supporting this, as the Richmond City Council has. I'm asking for people here to sign this petition, or if you see this petition in the community, to sign it and get it on the ballot. We need to get these signatures on there. And that means that we need people to take action themselves, to get petitions. They can get them from the RPA office and circulate them from themselves so that we actually have funds to do the programs that we need in the schools. Thank you.
Linda Ruiz-Lozito.
Good evening, West Contra Costa District Board of Trustees. I wanted to clarify my reasons for resignation as the taxpayer representative on the CBOC, the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, which I thought I had tried to explain last board meeting. But on February 1st, 2012, at approximately 8:32 p.m., the school board president implied that Mr. Youngier and others had asked me to step down. That's what I heard. And I was never asked, I just want to clarify, I was never asked by anyone to step down. It was my own choice to step down. I resigned because I felt stressed. I felt the meetings were contentious many times. There were oddities. If you tried to speak up on things, you could be verbally attacked, and that's how I felt. And a month before I resigned, I also called school board member Antonio Mandrano and discussed with him an issue about something coming on the agenda before coming to the CBOC for approval. I told them in the conversation that I wanted to resign, and I told him why, and I'll say he seemed very supportive, and he actually encouraged me to stay on the committee. Also, before resigning, I told Kris Hunt of the Taxpayer Association I was planning on resigning, and I said that any replacement for me would need to be thick-skinned and knowledgeable. So those are some of the reasons. I'll put it in a letter and send it. I'm sorry you don't agree. That's my experience. Thank you.
Sarah Butler.
Hello, I'm Sarah Butler.
I wanted to speak tonight regarding the last board meeting on February 1st, regarding item C11, which was the nominee for the CBOC. And I just wanted to say I attended the last board meeting, and to me, process and having a good meeting is very important. And I wanted to speak tonight as a member of the audience. I was sitting at the last meeting, and I was just amazed at how contentious that particular agenda item was. And speaking of process, not only this meeting, which is a good meeting, but also the Bond Oversight Committee is a public meeting just like this one. And those, I have to admit, I've never attended one of those meetings, but they have the fiduciary responsibility, the entire committee does, to provide oversight, and so it's very important. And I just want to say the thing that struck me sitting in the audience, even though I'm not involved with that committee, was a member of the audience coming up and speaking, which was Linda Ruiz-Lozito, who you just heard from. It wasn't about her. She was speaking about her experience being on that committee and the nominee, who was Anton. But after her speaking, a separate member, who happened to be the chair, got up and criticized her quite a lot. And I thought that was so inappropriate and unfortunate. Why would somebody criticize a member of the public who's allowed to speak and say their mind on their experience? Why would someone else come up and criticize that person at that very same time? That, you know, just doesn't make sense. And I wanted to thank Antonio Medrano publicly for interrupting those criticisms and tell you that this is all very important. So thank you very much.
Wanda Lee Stevens.
How many more speakers after that?
That would include our public comment.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Wanda Lee Stevens. I'm a 4-year parent at Lupine Hills. I have one son there currently in the 4th grade. I came here this evening because I had concerns about what I've been reading in the papers and seeing on TV, on the national news, and I was curious to know how the board was handling that at the school level, how you were informing the parents and assisting quell the situation. I am kind of shocked right now because I had no knowledge of the level of discontent that is currently going on that I've heard from the previous speaker, so I'm a little unnerved by it all. I do know that this principal was new. As a former site council member and a corporate HR worker, I know that it takes typically 3 to 6 months for a person to really get a real feel for their job, so I'm curious about support. And personally, being a black woman who's been in a position of management, I can really feel for possibly where she is. I don't know. This is, again, news to me, the level of discontent that's going on at my son's school. I'm wondering if there's support adequate for new employees in management. I'm wondering what's going to happen to the school if you yet again change the principal. I don't know that I was so, particularly happy with the previous principal. So a third principal in a matter of two years might seem a little risky. And also because I'm an HR professional and trained in employee engagement, I am currently unemployed and available to assist in any team building if you are looking for those types of people. So, wow, I'm just a little in shock about the news tonight, and I had no idea. Thank you for listening.
Okay, we're on to